to these topics about meow. All right, welcome to another episode of BS Busters. Oh man, I thought we would be running late, but we're here right on time. It's like that old quote from Black Church. Yeah, he might not be there when you want him, but he's always right on time. Yeah, Jesus. Anyway, here we go. But before we go any further, I'd like to have my co-host introduce himself. Go ahead, sir.
This is Kenoshi Abominito, and the Sony hack is looking more and more suspicious. Um,
All right.
I don't know if we're going to talk about that in that cast, but
Talk
I
about.
just came across. I just came across a video earlier today that theorized the people that claim that they hacked the PS5 that might have been faked.
They have what the PlayStation 5?
Yeah, or the hacked Sony. I should
Oh.
be more specific. That
Well,
the hacked Sony.
I mean, considering that, like, Sony doesn't learn. Like, they fuck up and they don't learn. So, do I think someone hacked Sony? Yeah. Do I think that they got, like, all this information? No. I think maybe they hacked it and got a little bit of information. I don't think they got a huge amount. But even a little bit of information properly utilized can do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just work here. This is Mr. Red Fox, unproprietary BS Busters. We're gonna have a chill cast tonight because I'm tired. No. For sure. So I guess we got to talk about our main topic. We'll dive into the first topic, which is, oh man, Phil Spencer and that leak. So Phil Spencer has continued to have all types of bad shit coming out about what's from that leak, But he did say some shit that even a broken clock is right once or twice is right twice a day. So I guess I need to share this because it needs to be said. So Phil Spencer, this is an email that came out in 2020. All right, and I'm gonna read it. And I want those of you who are listening to this podcast to put some real thought into these words. And I want you to think about what's been going on in the video game industry over the last, 5 to 10 years. Really think about it. Ruminate on it.
Well, sorry, what was the question again?
No, I'm gonna read a email from Phil Spencer that is very important. Because even though people are talking about it, I'm like, yeah, but people need to think about this. Okay. Anyway, so this is an article that was that came out a day ago from Hope Bellingham, and I'm reading this from GamesRadar.com. Anyway, Xbox boss Phil Spencer has inadvertently shared his opinion on the issues modern AAA games are dealing with, revealing he thinks publishers are quote-unquote milking their successful IPs and quote-unquote struggling to find new ones. In a 2020 email released as part of the Xbox FTC leaks, Spencer shared his analysis of what issues AAA video game publishers are currently facing with fellow Microsoft execs, including CEO Satya Nadella, CFO Amy Hood, former executive business VP Peggy Johnson, and head of marketing Chris Capocella. According to Kotaku, the email exchange was sent ahead of a feedback meeting with Grand Theft Auto publisher Take-Two Interactive. In terms of subscriptions and the impact on larger publishers, Spencer's email said, "I realize that I haven't really done a good job sharing our view on the disruption AAA publishers potentially see and how their role in the industry will likely change with the growth in subscription platforms like Xbox Game Pass. The creation of digital storefronts like Steam, Xbox, and the PlayStation Store eventually democratized access for creators, breaking physical retail's lock on game distribution. Publishers were slow to react to this disruption. The AAA publishers did not find a way to leverage the moat that physical retail created in the digital realm in a way that had them continue their dominance of the game marketplace. Later in the email, Spencer addresses the fact that not all companies can afford to spend what the likes of Activision or Take-Two do to get their games on the shelf. These AAA publishers have mostly used this production scale to keep their top franchises and the top-selling games each year. The issue these publishers have run into is these same production scale / cost approach hurts their ability to create new IP. Spencer then goes on to say there's been a rise in AAA publishers using quote unquote rented IP, such as EA with Star Wars, Sony with Spider Man, and Ubisoft with Avatar as an example, as it's less risky than releasing new IP due to the high production levels. The same trend can be seen in Hollywood with Netflix, Spencer adds, who also appear to prioritize familiar IP over developing brand new content. Games like Fortnite, Roblox, Minecraft, Candy Crush, Clash Royale, Dota 2, etc. were all created by independent studios with full access to distribution. The Xbox exec says, before adding that in his opinion this is a good thing for the industry, but does put AAA publishers in a precarious spot moving forward. AAA publishers are milking their top franchises, but struggling to refill their portfolio of hit franchises. Most AAA publishers are riding the success of franchises created 10 years ago. All right.
Yeah, that's true. Like,
That's the end of his email.
oh, okay. Yeah, the that last statement about writing success. I mean, 10 years ago, well, it's even 20, 30 years ago with some of these, all of these re-releases.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's the reason I say this is because it just what people what people forget is that we're living in an artificial industry when it comes to video games,
Yeah.
right? Like, and he's
Yep.
right. Like EA, Activision, they can barely like Overwatch was a success. They could not replicate that success with Overwatch 2.
No.
EA,
Overwatch 2.
no, go
Overwatch
ahead.
2 is just. Overwatch 2 is just Overwatch 1 expanded. Like, they
It's
didn't
it's
even
an
really.
expansion for Overwatch 1. It's 1.5. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's Overwatch 1.5. Well, there was going to be an Overwatch 2. There's a whole like thing behind the scenes that happened there. Basically, the team that was going to make Overwatch 2, their studio head said, "I'm tired." Like she said, "I'm tired of this bullshit." So she left and they left with her. And so the new people who stayed there had to restart that game from the ground up.
Yeah.
And Bobby Kotick is a piece of shit. Like everyone at
Yeah.
Activision, Blizzard, King is a piece of shit. Really, up at that high at those high levels right there.
Yeah.
Um, those executive suite people, those people are trash. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like um, and this is just my limited knowledge of stuff that we've talked about and stuff that has come to light, especially with stuff like Anthem, and I think there was also some other articles written about treatment of developers and stuff. Stuff I've heard talking to people that we know or have come across that have been in the industry. It seems like uh, it seems like there are similarities when it comes to like mangaka or Japanese animators and developers here in the West, where they're getting they're essentially a lot of the money is going to the top, and a lot of them and not really going to developers. So you know,
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, think about it. Developers don't really have control over their own IP. So you could be a
yeah,
developer and create an award-winning IP. That IP could be wildly successful. You don't get a cut of even if you got like five as the person who created. Even if you get 5% of everything associated with that thing, that'd be something. They don't even give you that.
mm, yeah, yeah. That's pretty crazy. Not to mention, it's like you had Capcom saying, and I'm sure we'll talk about this, like game prices are too low. Um, oh, and by the way, Resident Evil 4 is going to fail on the iPhone because selling a $60 game on a smartphone is not viable. It's
Well,
not.
why would
You
you?
can't.
Why would you
You
put
can't even
a?
sell a game for $10.
Oh, here's the
Like
big question:
Nintendo
why would you
tried
put a
this.
$60 game on an iPhone? That's you're asking for failure right there. That's like
Yeah, I mean it's
that's
like
like I'm gonna
Nintendo
ask
tried
a girl
selling.
on my first date to go all the way. It's like yeah, I'm not. Yeah, she ain't gonna call you back, bro. That's
They,
not
they,
gonna happen.
they tried that with Mario Run. Nintendo tried it with Mario Run, and
Yeah,
they
but Mario One
didn't
was
really
was
sell it.
$5 or 15. It
No,
was
it's
some.
$10.
Okay, well, $10.
$10.
It was a modest success, but at least they made some money off of it. Like there's been times where I've seen people try and sell a $10 game on a Nintendo. I'm like, okay, fair, all right, it's $10, not that bad. But
And the
20,
thing is,
30, 40, oh hell no.
more people obviously just tried the free version more so than pay the $10. Like, I mean, obviously because it's free, but you're not gonna sell as well. Uh, you're not gonna sell as well as a monetized game up front
No,
versus a free to play game that has microtransaction on the smartphone on the typical smartphone ecosystem.
yeah, because people who are buying shit on the smartphone aren't used to buying shit that's like that. They aren't used to it.
Yeah,
It's not a, it's like if you're used to, it's kind of like if you're used to paying for your money, just going in and putting your money down. It's really hard to like switch from that. If you're not,
and
if
if you
someone's
really
like,
want to
well,
play,
do it this way. It's like, yeah, but we haven't been doing that way for years.
and if you really want to play Resident Evil 4 handheld, you're probably playing it on a Steam
Or the
Deck.
Switch.
or yeah, or the Switch, because I think they have a cloud version of some of them. So it's like if people want to play those games handheld, there are other places that are much more beneficial than the iPhone. So, in any case, I guess we can get back to the article. Um, what other what other stuff caught your attention?
Oh, just all that shit right there was just like, okay, like I was like, wow, this is the industry as it is right now. This is what we're living with. This is why
Yeah,
we aren't getting new shit. This is why we're getting the same thing over and over and over again. Maybe different skins, but functionally the same shit.
yeah, like you mentioned the whole rented IPs. There have been a lot of like big name um, IPs like Spider Man, obviously the WB game. Uh, you also had of course, Star Wars, which Ubisoft or not Ubisoft,
EA, EA
EA
fucked that
botched
up.
that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, how do you like? This is like guaranteed money. Guaranteed money. All they had to do.
Yeah, it's like then they use these IPs because they're risky. They're not risky, like Spider Man, for example.
Yeah.
Spider Man's like what, a 60-year-old IP. Like
I mean, at
it's
this
been
point,
around
probably
for
closer to 70, but I get what you're saying.
70s.
Like the thing is like there is literally like it's a easy layup. It's an easy layup into the pocket, and they fuck like literally Star Wars was an easy layup into the pocket, and they fucked that up. EA
Yeah,
did by
yeah,
getting greedy. They got real greedy because people forget that when they first started getting then when EA first started getting fucking uh first started getting games, they were just they were messing up.
yeah.
It's like people forgot that that thing was getting. No, they were effing up. Remember,
Yeah,
like Star Wars Battlefront and Battlefront Two. Battlefront
yeah,
One was a basic bitch game. Battlefront Two, the microtransactions were so bad that like Star Wars fans rebelled.
yeah. It is. It is. It is pretty crazy. Um, Obviously, Spider Man's been successful. I don't know if anything, and also the Avatar franchise. Um, James Cameron's pet project.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
I think that's
I haven't heard people talking about that game, so I don't know. You know, I'm like I
yeah,
don't know. Here's what I'll say about Spider Man. Spider Man, I know a lot of people. I love Spider Man. That Spider Man game's amazing. Blah 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 blah. I played that Spider Man game, and I'm like, this game is Spider Man 2 with better graphics, and the combat
yeah.
system is updated. It's not really like
It's not groundbreaking.
it's
Yeah,
not groundbreaking. Yeah, yeah. Everyone's like, oh, it's amazing. I'm like, it's the same shit we were doing like 3 gens ago.
yeah, yeah.
Like what?
And you also have Sony with their push for like these interactive movie games where because those are pretty safe. You get people because you can get people that don't necessarily play games like that into stuff like that because it's just kind of like, well, it feels like a movie. It feels like these emotional experiences, and
I mean, I'm not. Look,
that
listen. I'm not against it. Okay, I'm not
yeah, I'm not
against the.
against it either.
But like when I hear fans talking about, oh, this is so innovative, I'm like, not really. No, if you've been playing games for a while now, which a lot of gamers have been playing games for a while now,
Yeah, I
this
mean,
shit ain't new or innovative.
yeah,
But you know, that's my own personal opinion. You have any thoughts on it before we move on to the next topic?
no, I'm good.
All right, next topic. Let's see here. Let me go to my handy dandy thing. Um, you kind of hit on it. So Capcom, Capcom says that game prices are too low.
Yep.
You know, um,
$70 games coming to a Capcom near you guys.
And when he said that, I was like, for real? I don't.
Yeah, I mean, look at how you gouge people for your DLCs and microtransactions. I mean, let's take a look at those Street Fighter costumes for the Ninja Turtles. $15 for each costume. Really? $15 for freaking skins?
Yeah, I mean, functionally, that's. I mean, look, listen. Instead of talking about how, oh man, this is so expensive, I have a good idea. And this is my idea. Okay, here's my idea. Why don't why don't um you do this? Okay, this might surprise you. Why don't you spend some money? Okay, why don't you learn how to control the budgets for your games?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
you ever think about that? Like, okay, I'm gonna give you an example. Okay, the movie The Creator is coming out this week from Gareth Edwards. Okay, he
Yeah.
did like a indie film called uh, Monster Monsters. He did another film called uh, you know a little movie called Godzilla. He did another little movie called Rogue One.
Yeah.
Okay, now he made The Creator, and this movie looks like some shit that you would get for like with the special effects looks like something you would get for like $200 million. You know how much he spent to make that movie? Guess.
How much?
Oh, guess. Go shoot. Throw a guess. Like
Uh,
how much a movie that looks
40
like on
million?
par with a $200 million film. Guess how much he spent?
40 million? 50 million?
Take 40 and double it.
Oh, 80 million.
Yep.
That's crazy. That's great. I mean, you keep your budgets under control. You use a little creativity to hide the flaws that you couldn't, to hide certain things. Like, eh, that's too hard. That's too much to ask for.
$80 million movie looks like some shit that had a $200 million budget. 80 million. So when I see
What's
some
this movie called again?
The Creator,
The
okay,
Creator.
The Creator. It's one of those. It's a movie that needs a lot of sci-fi because it's about like a AI uprising and the nature of transhumanism and all that type of shit. Okay,
Like,
so you need like you can't do that with just makeup. Okay, I understand it needs CGI, but he did this with $80 million.
yeah,
And then you look at the rest of Hollywood that they're like, oh yeah, yeah, we they make movies that have double that budget and it looks like shit.
yeah,
Like absolute ass.
yeah, yeah. And it's just
Go ahead.
I was gonna say that and that articles popping up talking about how development costs have ballooned in the past few years. Um, maybe it's time to scale back, focus more on art style. Uh, a lot of these open world games have a lot of padding in them. They don't have. Maybe focus more on substance. Maybe the worlds have to be a little smaller and focus more on substance
What
rather
have these
than
people control themselves? Oh man, don't ask that.
yeah,
Everyone
yeah. It's
everyone
like
wants, everyone wants more padding, more make busy side missions. Now,
the
I'll
only
tell you
reason
a franchise that's guilty of that to the point where it's like I don't even like those games anymore. Those Far Cry games. Oh
yeah
boy.
Well,
those Far Cry games are ridiculous.
well, the thing is, they probably have a lot of padding. Is because they want you to live in those games and buy their microtransactions.
Well, I mean, I think they're designed to be grindy because I have played a lot of Far Cry games on. I've played a lot of those games on PC
Yeah,
with trainers that like take the grind out, and without the grind, it's like they're fine.
yeah,
They're designed to make you like have to do all this extra shit to play the game. Same thing with the new what's it called? What was that new fucking that new Watch Dogs game. It had all of this grindy shit in it because Ubisoft doesn't know how to make good games anymore. They know how to make grindy ass games, but not good games.
yeah,
And there's a difference between the two. Okay? People will be like, well, this game is too grindy. No, 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 no. You don't understand the difference between a grindy game and a good game. A grindy game, uh, in terms of a sandbox, okay, go play GTA San Andreas. That game is good. There's a lot of side activities, but they all basically contribute to you getting some ability. So like, yeah, I'm gonna do the ambulance missions where if you transport 100 people to using you steal an ambulance, you press R3, you basically start taking people who have been injured to a certain spot, you pick them up, you drive them to the hospital, okay, in a certain amount of time. You do this enough times and you get a bonus out of it. Is it grindy? Yes, but you get a reward out of it. The reward is you get your health gets doubled, goes from 100 to 200. Okay, the police revenge missions, or AKA hitman missions. Like, oh well, I'm gonna steal a police vehicle and then go around murdering certain people dressed as a policeman. In the game, that increases your body armor from like 100 to 150.
yeah,
So it's like, yeah, this is grindy. You might have to do 30 of these missions, like up to certain stars, but you get a reward out of it. There are games that come out now that are so goddamn grindy, and the reward that you do get is so bullshit that it's like I could have just saved my money and time.
yeah.
But what do you think about it?
Um, I think there's sometimes games where the grind or the grind can be fun, but then but then there's a lot of games where it's just like, why am I doing this? This feels more like a chore. There's
Yeah,
not,
this is make work.
yeah, it's not much happening. I'm not really getting anywhere, but it's just, eh,
I get it. But anything else you want to add before we move on to the next topic?
um, no,
All right. Okay. Uh, Damn, I keep on closing the window that has this gmail.com. Yeah, I know. I know. Okay. Uh, Next, here's some happy news. Warren Spector. Now, for those of you who don't know, Warren Spector made a lot of games that people like. All right. He made the first Epic Mickey, which I liked, but he also made Epic Mickey 2, which some people didn't like. I thought it was pretty good. But Warren Spector also worked on System Shock and some other shit. He helped make Thief. Uh, but after he helped make Thief, he made another game because he got fired off of Looking Glass Studio called Deus Ex. Now, Deus Ex is widely considered as being one of the first gaming sims of all time. You know, uh,
Yeah.
one of those deep dive gaming sims. So, very important game. Um, Warren Spector's done a lot of stuff. Um, dude, dude played a lot of games. Dude made a lot of games. Dude's a nerd with street cred. He dipped his toe in helping to make System Shock. Um, Helped make Thief. Helped make Deus Ex. Um, the guy just made a lot of shit.
Yeah.
You know, so I just thought that was interesting that we got all that cool shit. Now, all of our king nerds are old now. You know, Warren Spector's old, John Romero's old, Tom Hall is old. They're all old. They're all
Yeah.
old. But they made some great games, man.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just thought that was very interesting. Um,
Yeah. I've never really played a lot of his games, but I've heard his games are pretty good. So
oh yeah, Warren Spector is one of those legendary game developers, and I've never heard any shit about him either.
yeah.
A lot of times you hear about a game developer, it's like, oh yeah, but there's like some aside. It's like, blah 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 did this, but he's also kind of a piece of shit. It's like, oh, okay, I wasn't expecting to hear that. Never heard any shit about Warren Spector.
Yeah.
You know, so I give him credit for that because a lot of times it's like, oh, so and so's a developer. They're also a piece of shit. It's like, well, shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
They just turn out to be bad managers. Great developers, terrible managers.
I mean, or they have some type of personal issue where it's like, oh, this person's just a generally a terrible person.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know you were a terrible person. It's like you're you're just generally a terrible person. Oh my god. It's like no. But to each his own. I guess we that's all my topics. Anything you want to add before we move on to free topic?
Uh, no, I'm good.
AKA unpopular opinion. All right. Um Okay, here we go. Here we are to free topic, aka unpopular opinion. Do you have anything you want to add?
Well, like I said, I kind of brought up my unpopular opinion earlier. I don't even think it's unpopular. I think anybody that's you know that's been around will see that, like, um obviously, I think the Resident Evil games that they're bringing to the iPhone 15 Pro Max, they're more than likely going to fail. I don't even. You might even argue that they're not there to succeed, but sort of a gateway into bringing more big budget games Apple products.
Well, the big question
I
is
think
why
it's
would
just
no one wants to play that type of game on their smartphone?
yeah, yeah.
That doesn't
Uh,
make sense to me.
it doesn't make sense that they're bringing it. That they would uh, bring it to the iPhone, especially the most expensive one. Because if you wanted a mass market
You put on
thing for, of
Android
course,
because
for
that's a bigger market.
yeah, that's a bigger market, and also also it's they're selling it for $60, which good luck trying to sell something for even $10, $20 on the smartphone as a game. Uh, maybe things have changed, but I know in the earlier days of smartphones, it just if you were selling anything above $1, people
Yeah,
just weren't
yeah,
weren't weren't
because
biting.
those people were used to getting games that were like, you know, budget priced.
Yeah, yeah, and so what else? Yeah, and I'm just surprised he just wouldn't create a separate product for something like that. But the problem, and the thing is, why they probably won't, and it'll probably eventually come to their laptops and stuff. But the thing why they won't focus on the iPhones because iPhone their smartphone division is their biggest division, more so than their computers and stuff.
I
'Cause,
think that maybe they got paid a kickback. Capcom probably got some money to put that on the phone to show that that phone can play. Because I think Microsoft, I've Apple said that their newest phone is like the best thing for gaming, some shit like that. I was like, okay, all right, I wouldn't go with that, but you do you, bro.
well, it's like they're seeing, they're probably seeing how big of a market gaming is, and they probably want a slice of the pie.
Well,
It's like,
everyone wants, but that's
yeah,
that's that's false. That's a false business equivalency because a lot of businesses always say that stupid ass shit. Well, look at how much money those people are making. If we get
well,
like if they'll say, well, those people are getting like they have 100 million install base, and if we just reach 5% of that, that's 5 million people. It's like it don't work that way, bro.
yeah, they're just sitting there doing napkin math half the time. I just feel like a lot of these decisions are they're just sitting there doing napkin math, and then you have all these YouTubers, being like, well, this is a smart reason because of this and this and that. When in reality, they might have not even thought of that. It's like, this is all just your speculation. This is all just your head canon. But yeah, in reality, everybody wants all of the pie. But but yeah, it's yeah. I mean, for any developer or anybody getting into gaming, you know how hard it would be to get 5% to 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 even reach 5%.
I mean, it's tough unless you are particularly good at what you do.
Yeah,
Um,
it's like if you can get 5 million people to take your especially in gaming, uh, to accept your product, to buy your product, to purchase your what you're selling. That's a feat in itself. Like
yeah,
you have indie developers that are happy when they get 500,000.
yeah. They're like we budgeted that if we made over 50 billion, we if we got 50 million, we made our money. It's like but that that requires budgeting, and we're not doing that. We're not going to budget. Get out of my face.
And, and plus the amount of work you would have to do when it comes to advertisement, when it comes to maintaining the infrastructure for the game, because a lot of companies want a game that they can just coast on for at least a few years. Uh,
Yeah,
it's like even if you do get 5%. you're not necessarily guaranteed a profit. So
Well, I mean, if you budget properly, like
yeah,
if you budget your game so that it is profitable after you sell 800,000 copies and it's a AAA game, you make $1 million. You've paid for everybody, and then it goes to 1.5. Everyone got paid 2 million. Okay, bonuses. 3 million, bigger bonuses. 4 million, bigger bonus. 5 million. Okay, people are buying houses. Okay. But this shit they do now is just ridiculous, and that's all I want to say. I was just like, okay, yes.
yeah.
But whatever. Um, anything else you want to add before we wrap it up? Because I kind of I kind of used my free topic earlier too.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
All right. We had a shorter cast than usual. Um, because I'll be honest with you, I kind of overslept a little bit, but we got it. We covered some topics. That's the end of this cast. Anything you want to pimp out, you can do it now, sir. Anything you want to? It's like we need to talk about
Uh,
this.
Project Console, Tuesday night, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Hope to see you guys there.
All right, this is Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor of BS Busters. Thank you for uh, for joining the cast. Remember, rate, comment, share, subscribe, play your games, live your life, um, and together, together we can prevent forest fires.